Good morning, everybody. My name is Marcella Riddick.
I'm Stevie Gray.
This is Walter Gray. And thank you for being on the road with us for one last time.
It's our last day.
It's actually our very, very last day. Last morning, we decided to hop on and do today's episode a little rawer than normal.
I look just as greasy as usual.
We just woke up and just got in the car and just got everything together, and we have to head home today and getting all the things, and thought it would be cool to do the last podcast right
through
now.
Joshua Tree.
Our favorite. And we haven't gone through any national parks on a podcast, and this one's...
Is that true?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, I guess, well, Basin. TBD if Basin's gonna get released. But we haven't done it through a national park, and this is by far one of our favorites.
Every time we talk about Joshua Tree, I'm like, yeah, Joshua Tree is great. It's pretty cool. And then we come back here, I'm like, oh no, Joshua Tree is like the best.
Incredible.
It's like truly the best.
We pulled up yesterday afternoon. It was very hot. We were just talking on the podcast yesterday that our range of temperatures was 24 to 94, and then we hit 107 yesterday on the way here.
Mojave Desert.
Thanks for that. Mojave Desert was a treat yesterday, though. We weren't, again, we didn't have many expectations, but it ended up being quite beautiful even after we stopped chatting with y'all.
Truly.
How are you feeling today, Gray?
I'm tired, but I'm ready to go home, I think. Like, mentally prepared. Maybe not ready for the trip to be over, but ready to return to the nest.
To the nest. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, I have two questions.
Okay.
One, what was your favorite park? You can't say Joshua Tree.
No, I'm not going to say Joshua Tree.
And two, what was your favorite piece of gear? Oh, I lied. And then three, what was your favorite meal?
Ooh.
Those are the three debrief questions I came up with.
Okay. Wow. My
Yep.
favorite part, and do you mean like favorite
Park.
stop? Park.
Park.
Easier. Okay, way easier. I think I would like to say Glacier, but because the road was closed going to the sun, I'm gonna say Yellowstone right now. And
Why?
Huh?
I said why?
Yellowstone it felt like being part of an interactive safari, and that was really cool. There were so many animals everywhere, whereas Glacier, we saw bears, which was really cool, but I feel like there weren't as many. There weren't as many animals kind of just roaming about. But Glacier's
It was also
views,
24 degrees outside. You can't blame the animal.
That's fair. Glacier's views, though, were probably the most stunning. Maybe Bryce, but I think overall Yellowstone kind of just hit best. So favorite piece of gear?
We bought a lot of gear. We brought a lot of gear. What was your favorite and why?
Okay, this is biased because of the last couple days, but I've really been enjoying the shower now that I feel like we understand how to operate it better.
That's what I was going to say.
Damn, okay. Well, it's really cool because you pressurize it by pumping air into it, and then it shoots water out like any kind of, what do you call that? Not a faucet,
A
but
hose?
A hose. And so I've really enjoyed it because it's worked fairly well.
Yep.
And like we did our hair this morning and our faces, and it helps you wake up and keeps it clean. We showered when we got here yesterday.
And we stuck it in the sun, and it got kind of warm.
Yeah. So it's...
Oh, bunny.
Was that the... oh, crap.
A hare?
It's some kind of rabbit.
I think it's a desert hare.
Yeah, its ears are long because it helps it regulate temperature.
Well, that's all bunnies.
Okay. Well, its ears are extra long.
Yeah, it's a hare. Hare.
Yep. But yeah, that shower was a good one. I really like our sleeping pads. I don't think the thing we used to have in here, the like blow-up mattress, was pretty uncomfortable before the platform.
I was like, we haven't tried it on the platform.
That's fair. But I was never a huge fan of it, and these have definitely... I'm more comfortable sleeping in here, even if it's taken me a long time to fall asleep.
Yep.
What was the last question?
Your favorite meal that we either cooked or got.
Okay. I'm going to eliminate most of Colorado then because we've had those things before.
Yeah, not the Foco ones.
I feel like I'm going to be nostalgic about that pancake place we went to in Yellowstone.
In Yellowstone? That was cool.
Because we got Canadian bacon, some pancakes with boysenberry.
Yeah, boysenberry. I had a chocolate chip pancake and a plain pancake with boysenberry.
Yeah, it was just like, it was cold morning and it was fun to be able to get cozy and eat a pancake. So I feel like for vibes and just like experience, I'd say there. I still am pretty impressed with that yellow curry, like, packet thing.
The dehydrated?
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was far better than I expected it to
100%.
be. What about you? What was your favorite meal?
Meal. That meal in Idaho, with our funky ramen curry with shrimp concoction.
Yeah, that was really good. I forgot about that one.
Next level. Shout out to Trader Joe's.
That was a really good concoction.
That was solid.
Like
and it hit the spot.
The
it was
broth
a pain in the ass
perfect.
to clean.
And it was cold too, so it was nice to have something so warm.
Yep, so that was probably my favorite meal.
Cool.
Old friend. Oh, did I make it? Yeah, I made it.
Everyone's up and getting to their spots this morning.
My favorite park, Joshua Tree.
You said I couldn't say Joshua Tree.
Because I wanted to say it.
Okay. Yeah? I think even with how tired we were, this was the best way to end.
Yeah.
Truly. And it's the best way to wake up. It's nice and warm for once in the morning. It's beautiful and it's familiar.
Yeah.
Favorite gear? Other than the shower?
I really like the new water jug is sick.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty cool. And the Enviro logs were pretty cool.
Yes.
So the Enviro log. So we used to use Duralogs.
And like the big Duralogs.
The big Duralogs we would break up and bring with us camping and stuff. The Enviro logs, we were like, this is just off-brand Duralog, and that's not true. It's cardboard recycled and coated and then compacted together.
And so it's a little chaotic.
Yep.
When it starts falling apart and breaking up and ashing and stuff, but it works really well. And it's a lot cleaner than a Duralog if you're trying to store it for multiple uses. Because we don't usually use an entire Duralog. The nice thing is, and something I think we could easily highly recommend, is the small Duralogs, which we found. And those are perfect because Duralogs last so long, the big ones, and so it's hard to justify using an entire one. But the small Duralogs get your fire started, go for a really long time, and burn super hot. And so it's...
Thanks, Stanley.
Yes, Stanley, Idaho. We got some of the tiny Duralogs. But those were definitely super helpful. And our baskets, just gear.
Baskets are good, yeah. I don't know if that counts as gear, but...
That's fair. But our organizational, like, tools that we got.
It's working for us.
Yeah. What's something that you would do differently on another 20-day experience?
I wouldn't bring as much food. I'm like, we ate out so much, and I feel like there's just a better way to budget food differently. Like if I had taken the, $150 that we spent on snacks and stuff and food, and we had just budgeted it for food along the road, I think we would have been all right.
Because we love food, and when you're going to so many new places, it's hard not to try the food.
Especially, but with timing too. Like when we're pulling up to places really late.
Yeah, you can't cook.
You can't do the whole setup.
Especially if it's 20-something degrees outside.
Yeah.
I think that was the hardest part of not being able to cook as much as we wanted to, was weather, and then also the soot on that camp stove.
Yeah.
That was tragic.
We're gonna figure it out.
We got this, I think we talked about it before, but the backpacking, like, titanium camp stove. Super lightweight, really, really nice, but it got soot all over it immediately, and so we had to store it in, like, a compostable trash bag that we've kind of just had it in there now. And that works too, but thinking of it for backpacking, that's not gonna work.
We're gonna figure it out
the way we want it to.
Yeah.
Unless you keep the compostable trash bag, you put it together
the way it's supposed to.
And then you put the compostable trash bag around it, and then you put it in that drawstring thing.
I think
that
we just figured it out. Yeah.
But
what about you?
for what I do differently, I'd bring less clothes.
Stevie brought more clothes than me.
Which is surprising. I think the thing was the variability of the weather was a huge one in terms of packing. It's like, okay, I need like this many layers, and I can't wear them every single day or else I'm going to smell, and it's going to be unfortunate for everyone in the car. And so I did definitely bring a little bit too much of the wrong things. I brought not enough shirts, so I'm wearing like this like Aerism like thin black shirt right now, and like some weird shorts, but I think that's something I would definitely do differently. I think I didn't shop for clothes for this trip, and I think I need some more kind of like outdoorsy clothes that I can wear multiple days that aren't super heavy. So that's something to consider. But definitely I would bring less clothes. And even the way we stored shoes wasn't super efficient. There's got to be a way to do that better next time.
Bringing less shoes.
Yeah.
And so when we're not going through like 17 different climates, it's going to be a lot easier to...
Thirsty bees.
Yeah. You said there's what?
Thirsty bees.
Thirsty bees? Is that a thirsty bee sign?
It was a bee sign.
Okay, everybody. I've never been up here. This is Viewpoint, I think.
It's like, how close can we
How close can we get? Oh, that's pretty sick. Oh, that's Palm Springs. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do the loop again, because I think I figured out a better way to do it.
Sorry, I interrupted you with thirsty bees.
So one of the very first times we came to Joshua Tree, we were driving in the middle of the summer. It was August of 2016. And we pull up to this viewpoint, and there's a sign that says, warning, thirsty bees. And apparently, because it gets so hot, obviously, the bees will come into people's cars and freak out because they're thirsty. And so that's just one of Stevie and I's favorite inside jokes about thirsty bees.
And to be fair to the thirsty bees, any creature that lives out in this desert is one of the most hardcore things ever because of how little water there is. And so basically every species in this desert has adapted in the coolest ways to survive.
We threw out Walter's water bowl and we watched a mouse come and drink the water off of the
Very
rock.
quickly too. The mouse was like bouncing back and forth.
Sir, what are you doing? He's like, why are we stopped?
He always just get like anxious.
He's like,
when
what are we
stop.
doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? We're parked, and I wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Gimme. I wanted to say thank you for this trip. You're the best.
You're the best.
And now we're gonna go back down this pretty road.
Yes. The trip isn't over 100%.
No, I'm not 100%.
But we're home.
We are home.
This is home.
We came
This
into
is home.
California, and one of the first gas stations we saw said $7.69.
What? We'll put this as a timestamp because someday when gas is like $14, someone's gonna watch this and be like, "Why are they freaking out? It's $7."
Yeah, $7.69.
Yeah,
which is pretty gnarly.
it is pretty gnarly. And as we were driving through all of the smaller towns and saw gas that was like $4, I was thinking, wow, gas is probably usually like $2 here.
Yeah.
And $4 is probably absolutely crazy to whoever lives in this town. But to us, it was like $4. It's not bad. This is pretty good.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. So here's to hoping that $7 gas stays as a crazy concept.
Oh, gosh.
Because something tells me there's some more. I mean, do you think now that it has been proven that people are willing to pay $7 for gas, why would they stop charging $7?
Because I'm guessing not many people are willing to pay $8. I would not pay $8 for gas. I would stay at home.
But how do you do that in LA when you don't have a choice?
To be fair, we don't really know what the prices are in LA. I guess we'll see when we get there, right? Oh,
fair.
Man, I just realized my mic was all the way up and not where it was supposed to be.
The whole time?
I don't know.
Well.
That's awkward. Anyway, I don't know what the prices are in LA, so I guess we'll see.
We will see.
Yeah. But I'm not paying $8 for gas. But I'm also going to live on an island where I don't have to drive.
That's fair.
So
I will have to drive, so we'll see.
Costco for the win.
True. Costco gas.
You just gotta keep
Hit it up.
I was like, I should probably give you that card. Anyway.
What else do you want to talk about on this? finale.
What was your toughest day and why?
So I realized looking at pictures yesterday that most of this experience now is kind of a blur because of how many places. It was like, we were where yesterday? Like, we were in Mesa Verde 2 days ago. It was all like,
oh, friend. I think you made
good.
it.
Yeah, you made it.
Oh, gosh.
This is going to be a tough one. There's a lot of creatures running across, rodents running across the road. So it's hard for me to remember what my toughest day was because I feel like I usually have a hard time living in the moment. On this trip, though, it was kind of the opposite, where like I was truly just living in the day that we were in, and then when that day was over, it was like, okay, that's in the past now. And so I'm trying to think of a day that was like explicitly difficult. I think the day we got into, well, Yellowstone was tough. The first West Yellowstone, it was raining and we stayed in the freaking yurt. That was a tough day. I was struggling that day, but I think that was just like a fun struggle. Like we were laughing our way through it. So that wasn't like an actual struggle. It was more like, wow, this is just a weird, like unfortunate situation. I remember
it was cold, which like inherently makes it tougher.
That's fair. I do think the day we pulled into the second site of Glacier, what is that? What is it, St. Mary? Mm-hmm. Yeah, St. Mary, the entrance there. I was having a weird day. A little bit of a funk when we pulled up there. And by the end of the night, it was great. Like we were just hanging out, looking at the mountains all night. So it wasn't a funk that continued, but that was just a day I remember feeling kind of off. And then going into West Yellowstone the next day and it being the way it was even funnier. But yeah, that was a day. What about you?
I think my toughest day was leaving Colorado. When we got up to Rocky, I got altitude sickness pretty bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm cold. I'm gonna run up this hill because we like to run places.
Your
and we
nose
need to get there fast.
Was bloody.
It was gnarly. One looked like garbage. There's this picture that Stevie took of me, and I look like I'm dying.
You look like you're dying in that photo.
I thought I was gonna throw up, but I didn't even have any food, and I was hungry. It was a tough one.
You kept spitting, and I was like,
dude,
what?
You didn't have to tell the people that. You didn't have to tell the people that at all.
I was like, what is happening, man?
My body was like, I have to throw up, but there's nothing to throw up. And just, altitude sickness. Altitude?
Altitude? No, it's altitude.
Altitude sickness. That was pretty tough.
Yeah.
What was I mean, and then that was a long day, too. Like, we woke up at 4 that day, and we didn't settle in the dunes until...
like, nearly sunset.
Yeah.
Like, we got to the Great Sand Dunes National Park with, like, an hour of sunlight left.
Yeah.
And so we, like, ran to the dunes. We were like, oh, look at the dunes. We, like, took some cool pictures.
Oh, and it looks so cute.
Yeah, I think that's for future reference, the Great Sand Dunes National Park is a pretty solid park to hit up in, like, a couple hours. If you want to just park, go see the dunes, walk up to the dunes, and then leave. It's pretty accessible in that way. But it's really far off the road. And so we were both really tired from being up since 4 a.m. And then, like...
once you get off the main highway, you still have to go another hour.
Yeah. And so I remember I was driving and I was like, all right, we're almost there. I'm so excited to see these dunes. And then it just, like, took forever. Like, we were looking at the dunes from a distance and it just, like, was the slowest approach ever. And I could have been going, like, 1,000,000 miles an hour and it still felt like we were sitting in that car forever. That was a tough one. But dunes were cool.
What was one of the biggest wins?
Gosh, I mean, this trip was a huge win.
Yeah, dude, but I'm trying to be specific here.
Okay.
Me?
Okay, go for it.
For me, the BLM land we found outside of Zion was a win.
Gooseberry Mesa. Hurricane recreational area.
Something recreation area.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So much open space, like really separated campsites, which was nice. And the views of the mesa, Gooseberry Mesa.
All of the mesas, we could see in Zion a little. It was just phenomenal.
I would say the Navajo National Monument was a huge win.
That was a win. We didn't know that tribal parks were a thing, and then we pulled up on that.
Incredible.
In all the reviews we were looking, so there's 2 sites in Navajo National Monument. It was the sunset view and then the canyon view. and all the reviews were for the sunset view, and we were like, oh my gosh, it's almost sunset, let's just hang out on the sunset view. And there were all the RVs, and we were like, nah, let's go check out the other one. And the canyon view
far better. It was
so much better because the
better.
RVs couldn't really get up there.
Yep.
We cheated and found a spot where we could see the sunset and the canyon. It was beautiful. That was a big win.
I have something to say passionately
About?
to people that are camping and going camping. Can you stop pulling up and camping right next to Marcella? It's, you know when they're...
It's like the urinal.
I was just about to say
urinal
etiquette. Like, if somebody is peeing at one urinal and there's like 5 other urinals, go to the farthest one. But like, for some reason, every time I went to BLM...
It wasn't even BLM. It happened last night. It happened at BLM.
We would like park in a campsite that was so separate from every other campsite. There were so many spaces available, and someone would pull right next to us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
why?
Why are you here? I don't know. But so yeah, that Boise National Forest, incredible.
A win. Because we had no idea.
Bathed in a river, great time. But Boise National Forest just overall, incredible. Edna Creek was the place that we stayed that just like blew our minds. There's a specific spot that we parked in that was absolutely incredible.
Joshua Tree, 29 Palms. Which way are we going? To Joshua Tree.
Yeah, Joshua Tree. So we've been to Joshua Tree. This is now our fourth or fifth.
Hold on.
That one day that we came here just for a day to drive through. If you count that, that's 5.
That drive, Black Rock, this, I'm missing one.
The second Joshua Tree trip. After college.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 5.
5th time. And I am sure we'll come here like a million more times in our lives. Hopefully.
Look at this.
It's just great. It's just really solid. And the thing is, like, desert rocks and Joshua trees are technically not unique to this place. Joshua trees are all over the place in the Southwest. Mm-hmm. But something about this combination of views is so special. And these rocks are all so climbable. And I don't mean like chalk on the hands rock climbing. I mean like you're just going and climbing them like in your normal shoes. It's pretty incredible. I could spend all day here.
I love how much you love Joshua Tree.
That's great. And each time I come back, I like find new things about it that I like more than the last time.
I think one of my favorite like mushy things about this trip is that I love taking you to places that I love because that's like wholesome energy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Stevie's gonna love this and I love this, so I'm gonna show it to him. Mm-hmm. But going to all of these new places and falling in love with them together and like being surprised together and experiencing it fresh together was really special for me.
Truly. It's very, and I think that's what we were talking about a couple days ago. It reminds us of semester at sea a little bit. Mm-hmm. Of like, this trip is just, we were go. There was no time to really like we went to Bryce and we just like, there was not time to stop and smell the roses. It was kind of just like, here's an awesome canyon. Okay, get back in the car, let's go. Mm-hmm. And so we were like always running around except for when we posted up for the night. But it felt a lot like semester at sea where everything was brand new every day. And all the sights and experiences, we didn't know what they were going to be until we were there. We didn't really have, the itinerary that we had for this was just, here are the national parks that we're going to. Everything around that, completely on the fly.
Which was very difficult for me. I'm a big planner and I like having plans, but realizing in trying to plan it all that so much is variable, you kind of do just have to go with the flow. Like even coming into Joshua Tree, it's usually super packed and I was kind of nervous and we were trying to figure out a reservation and we're like, no. What have we been doing this whole trip? Just going, posting up, going with the flow.
And it was a Thursday night, so we got lucky, but
it's also getting hot in Joshua Tree, so we've learned a lot about seasons on this trip.
Oh yeah.
We were a little early for a lot of places, a little late for a lot of places.
We had our California seasons like brain on. I was like, Montana.
It's gonna be fine.
Montana, like what? There's not gonna be that much snow on the ground, and it was snowing, and it was like freezing. So, but now we know.
Yes.
Now we know that even in June, maybe living in Montana is tough.
Yes. To be fair, it was like closer to the second week of May. May, which is
That's right.
also blowing
That's
my
right.
mind. It is June 2nd, and we have been gone since May 15th.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the
lot has
world is
happened.
turning, yes.
Yeah. I couldn't fall asleep last night, and I was looking through pictures because we didn't have service, and so I was like looking at pictures on my phone, and I like went through this trip, and I was like, gosh, we graduated, huh? And I was like, one, whatever, but two, I was like, that was so recently. It's, oh my gosh, so recent. But yeah.
What else you want to talk about to wrap up the trip? Do you have any questions? I feel like I've been having all the questions.
Wow. What's a good one? Favorite animal you saw?
You asked me this like yesterday.
Yeah, but we've seen new animals every day, so
I guess that's fair.
You gotta go with the most updated version.
That little mouse friend last night was pretty cool. I saw cool lizards today. I saw a horned lizard run across the road, which was cool.
Did we?
Yeah, that lighter one that like ran across the road. That was a horned lizard.
Fun fact about horned lizards. This is something I've
Everybody
known
knows
since
this
I was
fact.
a kid.
Everybody knows this fact.
Well, then I won't
Go
say
ahead.
it. I won't say it.
Go ahead.
Horned lizards shoot blood out of their eyes.
As a defense mechanism.
Yes, to scare off the predators like coyotes.
But it takes them a lot of energy and effort to do that. So
Yes.
don't go run into a horned lizard trying to make it shoot blood at you.
Which again, like most hardcore adaptation ever. It's like, all right, what functions do we have that won't take too much work to use as a defense? It's like, I just shoot our blood at something.
Oh my gosh, remember we never confirmed that they were kangaroo rats, but I'm pretty sure they were in
They look
Gooseberry
like,
Mesa.
or some kind of gerbil thing.
It was a very long-tailed rodent.
Desert rodent. Yeah.
They were like all up near the car. We were like, oop.
Yep. Yeah, we've seen some cool animals on the trip. But truly, I mean, grizzly bear's gotta be.
Grizzly was sick.
Black bear that wandered into the camp, not wandered, it knew what it was doing.
Yeah.
The black bear that came into our campground and we wandered into it.
Yes.
That was crazy. I definitely have less of a fear of bears now. I think it's kind of the thing with sharks as well, is like sharks are never actively hunting humans.
Yeah.
It's most always a mistake. And then the shark bites your leg off or bites it and goes, oh, that's not a seal, and then swims away, and then you just are like, oh my gosh, my leg.
I'm trying to figure out what you're getting at.
My point is, it's kind of similar for grizzly bears or bears in general, where like a bear isn't going to like actively seek you out and attack you, which is kind of how most of nature is portrayed in like media, of like, oh, watch out, if you go into the forest, like you're going to get eaten by a bear. More likely you're going to get eaten by a mountain lion. But bears, they just don't leave your food out, and even if you do, like, just like get away from the bear, I guess. I don't know. I have less of a fear of bears now. I always thought bears were cool, but I was like, oh man, we were in a primitive camping site like a year ago,
Yes.
and it said bear in area,
He
and
freaked
the
out.
whole day I was on edge because I was like, oh my gosh, there's a bear around here somewhere, and realistically, there's usually a bear around here somewhere in any forest, so it's like that mentality doesn't make any sense. But I was like on edge, and by the end of the day, I was like, okay, like if I saw a bear coming, like I would see it, so it's gonna be fine. But now I feel even more strongly about how comfortable I'd be with bears. So that was a win. Long story to get to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was thinking about all the really cool plants that we found, and so we've been talking about iNaturalist, but we have just been like hard braking on the side of the road to get a picture of a flower so I can remember what it's called and find out what it is. And
It is great now to have that app as a part of our experience
it's
of life.
so fun. I'm glad you do it though. I don't have the patience for whatever it is.
It's so easy to do.
I
It's
know,
so
I know.
easy. Just download it.
Just
and all
download
you gotta
it
do is take a
now.
picture and do the thing. Sponsored by iNaturalist.
We're sponsored by nobody.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to sponsor us to do anything,
To do anything.
an expedition, we're on it. You got 2 bodies, 2 people. Send us into the mountains somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I would die like so quickly.
Dude.
I would not be a good frontiers person. I don't think. Explore.
I was like, I don't even know what you're trying to say.
I just want to be able to go outside more
Yeah.
and like be funded to do it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Because this is a great trip, but this is like an excursion / hobby,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love for that to intersect. there is the opinion that if you work your hobbies or your passions, then they're no longer fun.
I don't know.
I would rather have a not as fun time being outside than having a job that I don't like. So, there you go.
I like that. You have any thoughts, Nuggy? I hear you smacking back there.
Oh, I think it's the water choke too. It does sound like Walter smacking.
Oh, it wasn't him?
I think it was a combination, but I don't think he's smacking.
Oh, okay. Walter, the wins and the L's of the dog in this experience.
Ooh, win. He is a lot easier to clean than I was thinking. And with microfiber towels, oh, huge win. Microfiber towels. Like, truly, because they dry so much faster. They're way easier to clean. Way easier to store because they're thinner. And if you use one for the dog and one for the humans, boom, you're good. And so I'd say that's a huge win. But yeah, he was much easier to clean than I expected. And I'm, again, a germaphobe, so I was like, oh man, I want to bring the dog. He's going to get dirty and the car's going to get dirty. And I was like, dude, who cares? Like, I either was like, okay, we'll clean him well, and we would like wipe him down, or like water him off, and then towel him, or I would just be like, who cares? He's clean enough. Get out of the car. And then I'd just be like, okay, whatever. And so I think that was a win. He definitely still, like, he'll just lie in the dirt sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude. But honestly, that's not that big of a deal. And so that was a win. The L with the dog is not necessarily about him. It's more the fact that he is basically, as we said before, an infant, like the equivalent of like we have to have him on our back if we're gonna go hike. And so like we weren't able to go on a lot of hikes because dogs aren't allowed on the trails. And so I would not have rather him not been here, but there are a lot of experiences that we could have had in the outdoors that we weren't able to have because we had him. And so that's the infant thing of like, oh man, I got my kid, I gotta carry around this dumb baby, come on.
And I think we had an assumption from being in LA that a lot of places would be dog friendly, and that's not the case. Especially with weather.
The cave was dog friendly.
Yeah, we went to a cave yesterday. Oh my god, was that yesterday?
No, it's 2 days ago now. Before on the way to Bryce.
Got it.
Yeah, there's a cave on the way to Bryce that has dinosaur tracks, but they're not dinosaur tracks that were in the cave.
Yes, they were
dinosaur tracks. The dude was a paleontologist.
No, this dude was just
archaeologist.
Just this rich guy.
He did study university, either archaeology or paleontology. That's how
it was geology.
Really?
He studied rocks.
I think we gotta go back to the museum.
Anyway, but this cave, it was a bar and a like club.
In the past. And so Ronald Reagan went to this like bar. It was like Kanab, Utah.
Weird place.
We used to be called the Hollywood of Utah, apparently. I don't know, like, I feel like a lot of towns say that stuff about themselves, but maybe it was. They said it was for Westerns, and a lot of, like, famous figures in film and, like, Wild West film went to this cave bar.
The bar stools were cool.
Yeah, and so it's just this dude that was some kind of science guy. That collected a bunch of artifacts and rocks and put them in this cave, and then also had a bar, and then eventually it got turned into a museum. And so
it was one of the only like things we paid to do.
Yeah, it was strange. Like I paid, and I was like, damn, like I haven't really paid to do much on this trip.
No.
Like other than food, this is one of the most expensive. And it wasn't like that expensive, but I was like, eh.
But then we spent money at the bookstore, at the gift shop.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I got to get this $4 sticker now.
I think that whole experience was probably like $50.
Yeah, and I was like, it was like 25 minutes of our time max.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So maybe don't go to the cave. Maybe now you know all you need to know about this cave. But I mean, it was pretty unique, I guess. It was like one of those.
But Walter got to go in there.
Yeah, you got to go inside the cave. It's kind of the equivalent of seeing like the world's biggest ball of yarn. Like I don't know, it just like felt like one of those things. It's like, why does this exist? But whatever. So it was fun.
My biggest win for Walter was just like feeling. Biggest win was being a proud dog mom and watching him have fun in all of these places. Yesterday in Joshua Tree, he just owned the space and was really confident and had his own little corner, and he set up his own little bed.
He had a den.
He created a little den.
Boulders.
Yeah, and
was really cool.
was just comfortable being outside, and he loves running and hiking and climbing these rocks. And you got to give him little pep talks sometimes. Ooh, I think we have to show them this thing. That's awkward.
Okay.
So that was really cool. Just to watch him enjoy life with us while we were enjoying just quality family time was
Yeah, I think it was, and I'm really glad we could bring him on this, because now when we go to the island, we're going to have a bit more of a connection already going. This is actually where we bought
it,
our
yeah.
America the Beautiful Pass. Fun fact. Do you need your ID?
Interlude? I don't think so.
You need your ID?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Good morning. Have a good one.
Get an America the Beautiful Pass.
Do it.
Because every national park was freaking
Free.
Because you pull up to a national park and it'll say Zion, $30 per car.
$35 for a car for a week.
And so this is $80, and it's
for the year.
It's free admission to any state national park.
No, not state, national park.
Oh, that was both.
It's any of the National Forest Service affiliated things.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes, national parks and federal recreational lands.
You were literally holding it.
Yeah. I barely know how to read. But it was a great purchase.
Because
totally worth it.
With that, we've had 12 different excursions at 11 different national parks.
Yep.
Well, 11 and a half, because Navajo National Monument was technically Forest Service.
And that would have been $300 if we had paid for each.
Oh, is that math?
If estimating that's $30.
30?
A little bit, yeah, more than, but yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, and so got more than our money's worth. And honestly, when we bought this last December, we were like, we gotta use it next year.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna make it happen. And so that was kind of the beginning of this trip.
And we're gonna do more, because what? It's June.
Hold on.
It's only the first half of the year.
We're gonna go to Sequoia for sure. I really want to go to Redwood. I want to see some big trees.
Big trees. Oh, bunny.
There's another one. Those
That's a
ears
little one, though.
Yeah, a very different one.
Or unless it's just a baby.
That's true. A baby.
A baby.
But
we saw a lot of baby animals. We saw some baby ducks yesterday.
We did see some baby ducks.
Oh, my biggest L for Walter is that he gets fatigued in the car. And so it was really tough for those long stretches.
He would just pant.
He would get tough. It was tough for him.
What do you want us to do, man? And
the elevation was tough for him. So just
I think it was mostly
environmentally, I wish there was something a little bit more stable for him. And
on
again,
roads like this, he's fine. It's the bumpy roads and the high altitude stuff. And I'm like,
stress.
He's like a 14-pound chihuahua mutt. He maybe should not be at 9,000 feet. But
his little jacket, he's so cute, and he takes his pictures with a little smile.
I'm glad to know that even if he was panting, probably not having the most fun time. Anytime we got out of the car, he was ready to go.
Yeah.
He's super happy, excited. So it was never I was worried that we'd get to a location and he'd just be like, no, I don't want to do this. And the fact that he was always ready to go at the day, no matter where we were, mad respect for Walter.
And he was so good and listened and wasn't a mess, and
He was truly the best boy.
The best boy.
And so I'm excited for him to continue to be the best boy on the island. Right?
Yes. But we do need to introduce him to some doggos so he doesn't look like a dummy.
Yeah, because he's perfect with other humans. I've never seen him bark at a human in my life. And so, unless he was asleep and someone knocked at the door and he was but other than that, I've never seen him bark at a human. He has barked at some dogs though.
Yes.
And he's gotten worse in the pandemic because he's had less socialization and stuff. And so we should definitely get him back up to speed.
But he's just loud. He doesn't want to hurt any dog. He's just loud.
But his bark is so nasty.
It's annoying and it's gross.
It's a
chihuahua. It's literally a chihuahua.
But he doesn't have the high-pitched chihuahua bark. He has a deep chihuahua bark, which is he sounds not like a dog.
He's fine. We love you, Doug.
He's great.
Is there anything else you want to debrief, tell the people? Big lessons, life moments, deep thoughts.
Ooh. I think with a trip like this in mind, there are a lot of life lessons and deep moments. you can draw from. I think number one is know who you got in your life that you can do really cool stuff with. And I got my best friend Marcella Riddick right here. But I think truly that's the best part of this all of, like, we could have driven to, like, the world's most boring all white room and someone would have locked us in for 20 days and we probably still would have had a pretty good time. And that's because you're freaking awesome and you're my favorite person. And so biggest life lesson is any experience, whether you're sleeping in a car, if you're out of your comfort zone, is going to be far easier and far more fun with good company and people that know you really well and people that you care about, people that got your back. So I think that would be the biggest life lesson, because I know there are friends in our lives that I really enjoy, but I don't know if I could do a trip like this with literally anyone else. Like, truly. I don't know, no matter how much I like my friends, I could never imagine staying in a car for 20 days with any other person on this planet. So, thanks.
Thanks, dude. I think in general, just making time to go have fun and do the things you want to do is something that I am trying to embed in my soul. I get so busy and so exhausted and overworked, I don't want to do that again. And so this was obviously an extreme in terms of 3 weeks and not eating vegetables and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but I think it's gonna help. It's like weight training where you do the heavy ones first,
Right.
so that all of the other ones are easier.
Because any little day trips we go on now
are going to be a breeze.
So easy.
Yeah. So building into your life and embedding into your life the things that you want to do to make your life what you want it.
You are not defined by your work.
No. Oh my gosh.
Your
no.
work, we live in a world, unfortunately, where basically everyone is kind of tied to work to exist financially sound, right? But you are not defined by that work.
No.
What you do with your money outside of work is for you, and there's no wrong way to spend your free time if it makes you happy. And don't stress about work when you're trying to enjoy your free time, because again, you're not defined by your work. Your work is not your life. Work is something that you do as a part of your life, but it's not your life. It does not define you. So remember that while you're being great, because stressing out about things that don't really matter that much is not worth your time, and it allows you to, I don't know, sometimes think a little bit more clearly. This is coming from a recent graduate with, like, not a lot of experience in the real world, so this is going to sound very, like, adolescent, but work is dumb.
I think there's a balance, and
Definitely.
I think we're all trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up? Are you ready to go? We just pulled up at the visitor center. We're going to go inside, check it out, because we missed it yesterday, and then we're going to go about our day and head home. And so this is our last episode for now, I think. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think the audio... See, yours did it too. Yours is all the way up there, bro.
Oh, no. Can you hear us?
Thank you so much for being on the road with us and letting us do this little experiment. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, critiques, we'll take it all.
All 5 of you send at least 4 things, like a discussion post on Zoom University.
Oh my God, are you a student?
If all 5 of you send 4 recommendations, we're gonna have a lot more stuff to work with. But yeah, thanks for being on the road with us. It's been really fun. Yeah, it's
Buddy, come here. Why are you panting? See, he does this when he's all excited. Come here. And come say bye to the people. You said no.
No. Thanks. Keep doing you. Have some good food today. We can do this thing. And then we can do.
Wee.